Just like with my brother, I can't thank you. Testing.
Good afternoon.
Happy Sabbath.
Happy Sabbath.
Put it right here. Y'all
Billy.
sniffers back?
Billy, would you like to lead us in prayer as we start our health talk?
Our gracious Father, which art in heaven, what a blessing to be here, to be a part of a wonderful message, to be a part of this help message. Bless the speaker. Bless us all. Enlighten her to enlighten us. Forgive us of our sins. Have mercy on us and give us clear understanding. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you, Billy. Well, it's nice to be here again. Almost the whole year is finished. Now, I want to remind you that next month I will not be here. And I'm just curious to know, I will be back January, and then we'll finish up in February. I'm just curious to know, has there been one person who has been here every single month? Raise your hand. 1, 2, raise up your hand, please. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to give a little treat to everyone who's been here every month. Pardon? I don't hear very good, so you're going to speak up. Okay. Okay, so about 10, 12 people. All right then. Today I want to talk about nutritional therapy. If you remember one Sabbath, I said that our health, our body is like a car, whether it's old or young, old or new. When it runs out of gasoline, what happens to the car? It stops. And you know, that happens to the body when it runs out of nutrition. That's why I call nutritional therapy, because we should realize and think about nutrition as important as prescription medication, if not more. Because if our body had the proper nutrition, half of our health issues we would not have. Do you understand that? I'm going to repeat it. If our body had the adequate nutrition it needs, half of our health problems, I'm going to call them health illnesses or diseases, we would not have. So if there is someone here, if you have a health issue, imagine how much better would you feel, how much better would it be if that was out of the picture, okay? So, we're going to start with vitamins. Vitamins, there are two kinds, water soluble and fat soluble. There is vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin E, vitamin K, and vitamin B. Out of the B vitamin, there's 8 B vitamins, and that's why it's called B complex when it has all 8, B1, B2, B3, B5, B6, B7, B9, and B12, okay? When it's B complex, it has all of it combined. B12 is the most common, but in reality, our body needs all of the B vitamins, okay? Now, one day, I said that I talked about high doses of vitamins, and I think I scared some people because I saw some expressions that I think I scared some of you. And I think I wasn't clear, so I want to repeat that When I'm talking about vitamins, we're talking between 100 milligrams to 1,000, okay? I mentioned 25,000 or more when we're dealing with a health issue, an illness or disease, okay? But if you were, for example, B complex, if you were to say, well, how much do I need? I would say you can start with 100 milligrams and take it for 10 days. And if you feel that you took the B complex and you feel more calm, less stressful, you can sleep better at night, then you know that's what your body needed. You could even increase it to 200 milligrams, okay? I knew a lady, she died at 98. For 20 years, she was taking 1,000 milligrams of B complex a day. And she had no side effect from it, okay? I'm not telling you to take 1,000 milligrams. I'm making the point that we have this idea that if we take too much, it might be harmful, it might be dangerous. But in reality, no, it's not, okay? When you look at a bottle where it says the amount of what it contains, I want you to think of that bottle like you know, when you did a test and it was a C, right? A C. But you could get a B or you could get an A. And so that's why if you wake up in the morning after sleeping all night and you feel tired or you don't have energy, that's a sign you're lacking nutrition, okay? Was that clear? Because after resting 6, 7, 8 hours, something's wrong if you wake up and I can't get out of bed, or I feel too tired, or my body aches. So my first suggestion is, first of all, are you taking all 8 vitamins? Actually, it's 13 essential vitamins when you consider the B complex, okay? You know, when I talk to people and I give a consultation, I would say, okay, give me a little bit of your history. What are you taking? How's your diet? How's your lifestyle? Do you remember what the lifestyle includes? Lifestyle includes diet, exercise, and rest, okay? So when I'm doing that consultation and I'm talking, and I say, well, do you take vitamins, minerals, any supplements? Oh yeah, I take vitamin A. Or someone will say, I take vitamin C. And I said, okay. But as you soon will see, there's a lot more than just one vitamin A or vitamin C, okay? So those are the vitamins. The fat soluble are A, D, E, and K. Just out of curiosity, it says everyone here taking all 13 essential vitamins? No? No? Once a week? Okay, we have someone here. Okay, good. All right, now we go to the minerals. We have what's called major minerals, and then we have the trace minerals. We've all heard of calcium, correct? Magnesium, chloride, phosphorus, potassium, chloride. It's a mineral, not chlorine, okay? Sodium and sulfur, okay? These are the major minerals. And now I'm going to say something that goes against the norm of what we've heard, especially for women with osteoporosis. You've heard of that. Take your calcium, correct? Have you heard that? You have osteoporosis, take calcium. But the mistake is this. It's not the calcium that your body needs, it's the magnesium for healthy bones and to reverse osteoporosis, okay? Throughout the whole year, I've been talking to you about my dementia lady, correct? Do you remember? Well, she's not dealing with dementia right now. That we worked on, and this morning I had to stop by and drop off some supplements, and she remembers dates and events and people. That's not the issue. major issue she's been dealing with for many years was depression, okay? So that's what I'm working on now. But what's very interesting is this. She had been diagnosed, now, mind you, she's 90 years old. She turned 90 in June, okay? So about 10 years ago, she had been diagnosed with osteoporosis. So imagine, for 10 years, getting a shot and getting calcium. And after 10 years, she still had osteoporosis. So is that working? No, no. I told someone here this morning, when you get a treatment, you should keep track. One day I start the treatment, I'm taking this medication every month, every year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. If after a year, 2, 3, 4 years, you still have the problem, something's wrong. You need to start asking questions and consider options with your doctors because it's not working. And in fact, the shot she was given every month actually was doing more harm than good. This woman at 90, average 7 pills she was taking right now, everything went out. No need for hypertension medication, no need for cholesterol medication, nothing. All she's doing is taking natural supplements, okay? And in fact, we're starting a treatment for the thyroid because when they did blood work, there's a little high calcium, higher than usual, and it could be her parathyroids are not working properly. So remember that my motto that I've said time after time after time, I hope you all learned this. God created the human body with the capacity to heal itself when the opportunity is given. Okay? Remember that. So, these are the major minerals that the body needs. But the most important is magnesium and after potassium. Okay? Now, the trace minerals are minerals that you take in small percentage, small milligrams, and those are chromium, copper, iodine, iron, manganese, this is an interesting one, not heard often, molybdenum, selenium, and zinc. And what's so important about this is diabetics are lacking chromium and copper, okay? If you have thyroid issues, you're lacking iodine. Obviously, if you have anemia, you're lacking iron. If you're having heart issues, you need selenium. And zinc is good for the immune system and overall healing of wounds. And as you know, diabetics can sometimes have a wound that takes longer to heal because they end up with poor circulation. And remember, diabetes will eventually bring heart disease, or heart disease will eventually bring diabetes. These are called two sister illnesses. So when you're talking about trace minerals, all you need is about 50 milligrams, okay, so that you can compensate and give to your body what it needs. Moving along, and by the way, there is what's called T.J. Clark Colloidal Mineral Formula. I use that besides online trace minerals. This is called colloidal. So there are similarities. Sea moss contains 92 minerals, okay? Now, I just mentioned the most common, most popular trace minerals. There are a lot more. And it's questionable. Some people say it's 72 minerals and trace minerals combined, or 92. It doesn't matter, even if we were just to say 50, the basic, okay? The bottom line is that when you buy a multi-mineral trace mineral, it's mostly in liquid form, you're going to get what the body needs, okay, as far as the trace minerals. Sea moss contains 92 minerals, okay? We're going to move on to amino acids. I want you to think of amino acids as the building blocks. Imagine you're building a building, and the blocks, the bricks, you're putting up on the wall. That's what the amino acids do, okay? They help build the proteins in living organisms. Now, there are 9 essential amino acids, which means the body cannot produce its own, but these are crucial for building muscle, repairing tissue, forming neuron transmitters, and you can buy a powder amino acid combination where you could put that powder in your juice or in water or in any kind of liquid that you want, okay? You know, it's getting easier and easier to order online. So for those of you who do not have a health food store close by, you can order through Amazon, and it's nice, they deliver it. So the amino acids are 22 amino acids that the body needs for good health. Then we move on to the omega-3 fatty oils. You've all heard of salmon and other fish providing good oils, but for the vegetarians, quite honestly, flaxseed, it has more benefits than salmon oil, okay? So if you were to get flaxseed, soybean, walnuts, chia seeds, olive oil, you know that olive oil has the 3, 6, and 9 fatty acids. These oils are important for cellular health, heart health, anti-inflammatory effects, and to provide energy. So, what does the body need? Vitamins, minerals, trace minerals, amino acids, and the fatty omega-3 oils, okay? If you were to consider making it as simple as possible, that from the food groups, you have the fruits, the vegetables, the legumes, which are the proteins, the carbohydrates, which are the grains, and the seeds. If you were to eat from each of those groups every day, you're going to have a well-balanced meal, okay? And if you were to do that and make some changes, because only you know what your lifestyle involves and your diet, you would notice an improved health, okay? So now I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to mention some habits that can, if you avoid these habits, you could cut down on the risk of having this health issue. Because remember, it's not just one thing that causes an illness. For example, what causes cancer? Well, there's many things that cause cancer. We could say smoking causes cancer, and yet we have non-smokers having cancer. So obviously it's more than one thing. But what I'm mentioning is a major issue that maybe you've heard it, maybe you haven't. So I'm going to run through it. Okay, hypertension. Too much processed foods. Okay? What's the problem with processed foods? It has a very high sodium. Okay? Now, of course, I just mentioned, okay, what nutrition deficiency would cause hypertension, and I have said this before. Pardon?
Thyroid.
No. Thyroid is not a nutritional supplement, okay? Magnesium. I told you, I mentioned, I think last month, that one of my patients, he told me, I'm taking my heart medication, my hypertension medication, and my blood pressure is moving up. And so what I did, I said, okay, I'm going to give you, I gave him magnesium, just 100 milligrams each bottle, each pill, but instead of taking all 3 in the morning, I told him take it 3 times a day. And by doing that, his blood pressure went down, okay? So magnesium is a crucial, essential mineral supplement for hypertension. And it's very healthy. It has a very calming effect in the body. If you're stressed out, increase your magnesium. Okay, moving on. Diabetes. Skipping breakfast. You know, breakfast is a very important, perhaps the most important meal of the day. And there's a lot of people who will skip it. Maybe because they're running late or going to work, whatever. Try not to skip breakfast. Even if you did a smoothie where you can put in some nutrition in it, the amino acids, some protein, non-meat protein powder, but breakfast is important. Depression, staying indoors, not having enough sunlight. Now that's a hard one. Many causes for depression. But being in the sun has tremendous benefits. Tremendous benefits. Okay. Heart disease. Yes, I know that eating bad is not good for the heart. But worse is not exercising. Okay? Exercise is as important as diet, especially for diabetes, heart disease, and cancer. Okay? Stroke. Well, I think we're all Adventists here, so we don't smoke, but lack of exercise is another factor for strokes. Back pain. Besides work, okay, I understand you have a tough job, you have to move stuff, posture, and again, lack of stretching is the #1 cause for back pain. There are videos you can see on YouTube where in bed, in the morning, 10 minutes before you get out of bed, you could do some stretching exercises to really help the back, especially to prevent sciatica. Okay, sciatica is when the back disc are pinching the nerve and the pain shoots down your back leg, and it's very painful, okay? And finally, skin problems. Yes, it can be hormonal, but in general, too much junk food can be one of the issues for skin problems. Okay, so now we're gonna have time for question and answer. Do you have the microphone? Billy?
I have a question.
Okay.
And I've asked this question many times, but I still trying to finalize and understand how so. Our vitamins we take.
How what?
Vitamins, different vitamins.
Okay.
How in the world are they condensed, pulverized into this tablet, and has a sufficient amount of nutrients in them?
Well, that is a very good question. And I frankly don't think I could answer it to answer you. Because what it comes down to is I'm taking faith that when I get this bottle of vitamin C and I take out the pill, I have the faith that, and I hope that it says 1,000 milligrams on the bottle, and so I'm hoping that I am taking 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C, okay? So how could I answer that question?
And especially if it's a multivitamin. It has
Right.
a certain amount of milligrams of this, that, and that, but it's condensed in one of those small.
It's amazing. I cannot answer that because I'm not a chemist or I'm not present where they're making it. When you get the container of protein powder or protein energy, it doesn't have to be, I'm not talking meat, okay? Non-animal protein. And you look at the ingredients, it has 30 things.
Right.
35. And then you have the little scooper to measure the amount. And you do one, or at least I have wondered, I say, wow, all these things in this little scoop, and
Yes.
for 100, 200, 500, whatever the milligrams, it's listed, and I don't know how they do it, but they do it, or how they measure it, okay?
So do you believe that that's true?
I believe it's true, because the moment, if I'm sick and I take a supplement and I have results, then obviously it worked. That's what it comes down to, okay? Whenever I start with whatever the
You
problem
don't think
is,
I'm being hypothetical? You don't think it's cocaine or something just to
pardon?
put in it or something just to
Cocaine?
hype you up?
Did you say cocaine?
Yeah, or something.
Okay.
I'm just saying anything to just hype you up. I was hypothetically speaking.
No, let's not be rude, please, please. Everyone
I was saying hypothetically speaking, it can be just
everyone
like a,
has the
seriously, it can be
opportunity.
just like an upper or something to boost your immune system or something for a minute. But
Well, let me say this, okay? Let me say this. Regardless of the problem, when I start with someone new, well, no, I take it back. Mostly with cancer, heart disease, or in need of an organ transplant, that's where I get involved 100% with the diet, okay? If someone came to me for gallstones, there's a treatment to get rid of that. I'm not giving 100% focusing on diet, okay? So it has to be a serious illness. But when I do start, I would say that it has happened every single time that I ask the person, do you take any nutritional supplements? And they say yes. And so then I said, okay, I want you to put what you take aside, because now you're going to do my protocol. And I'm giving you the supplements and the amounts I want you to take. And so it has happened that after 7, even after 3 days, I've had people say, oh, I feel better, okay? So let's clarify one thing. For those of you who take Centrum because the doctor recommended, that I would say is an unfit vitamin to take because it's chemical based, okay? And quite honestly, if it comes from the pharmacy, I would put it aside, okay? So there are many people taking vitamins, but they might not be the best vitamins to take. Okay, so we have to separate pharmaceutical vitamins that are chemical based compared to natural vitamins and minerals. That's one issue. I'm not even discussing milligrams, okay? Then we get into the milligrams, which is another issue, okay? But to answer your question, yeah, we could be left mystified, wondering how do they do it? But they do it. That's all I can say. And I do not believe these vitamins have cocaine, because otherwise people would get sick and there would be an investigation and someone would be shut down. Okay? Billy?
okay.
Okay. Any other question?
Here you go, Pops.
You said that taking vitamins, let me put it this way. Is there any evidence that taking high doses of any vitamin is going to hurt you?
Okay. What do you consider high doses?
Well, for example, if you get sick and you go to the hospital and they put you on IV, many times they give you high doses of vitamin C, especially if you...
No, let me clarify something, okay? And I apologize for interrupting you, and I'm glad you brought this up. Several years ago, at least 5, actually 7 years ago, using vitamin C in the hospitals became illegal. I'm going to repeat it. Using vitamin C in the hospitals became illegal, which meant Big Pharma, the FDA, the government, whoever you want to think was involved, decided we will no longer use vitamin C for our patients in the hospitals. About 7 years ago, no, actually about 10 years ago, I was called with a lady at USC with terminal cancer. And I spoke to the son, and I said, you realize your mom is in serious condition. Ask the doctor if he will administer vitamin C in her IV, at least to boost the immune system so we can take her home and start treatment. And he asked the doctor, could you please put vitamin C in my mom's IV? And the doctor said, do you think you're a doctor? I will not do it. Now, the doctor left as a respiratory doctor was coming to see the patient. And I think he felt so bad with the way the doctor had treated the patient's son with arrogance and rude that he said, don't worry, I'm going to request this. And so they gave her vitamin C, and they wanted to do a procedure. And I said to the son, I strongly advise against the procedure, and the procedure killed her. Okay? Now, when COVID happened, I have a friend who got sick with the COVID virus, and he was in the hospital 3 months in Thousand Oaks. And when he called me a week after being in the hospital, I didn't know he was in the hospital, he literally said, I'm in the hospital, I'm sick with COVID. He was whispering. And I said to him, knowing what this is all about, hoping that the doctor would have compassion and break the rules, I said, Carlos, please tell the doctor to give you vitamin C in the IV. I cannot help you. I'm not vaccinated. I can't even go to the hospital. And when he asked the doctor, please give me vitamin C, the doctor responded, that's not going to make any difference. We do not use vitamin C in the hospital. Okay? Now, I'm shocked that a doctor would say it's not going to make any difference, because to think vitamin C doesn't make any difference on the immune system is like saying don't eat fruits and vegetables because there's no benefit to it. It's insanity. We know fruits and vegetables have antioxidants. We know what antioxidants do to the body. Vitamin C is one of the most powerful supplements that you can take to boost your immune system. Okay? So I apologize for interrupting you, but I wanted to make that point, that vitamin C is not used in the hospitals. Okay? So going to your question, how much do we know regarding high potencies? Well, we know that if we see our bottle, vitamin B complex, and it says 100 milligrams, I can safely say that you could take 10 times the amount the bottle says, and it still wouldn't be considered, yes, for a doctor it's considered high potency, but in alternative medicine it's not. Okay? When they would use vitamin C therapy for cancer, they were using 5, 10, 15, 20,000 milligrams a day. And it was more effective than chemotherapy and radiation. So needless to say, I think we all would agree that there's a corruption when it comes to cancer, and there's too much money involved. And that's why we have what we have as far as therapy and treatment. Okay? Any other question? Okay, follow up.
Okay. How important is cleansing the blood as in promoting health? Which means I've heard the word dirty blood. Could you explain that also?
Yeah. First of all, if you're a smoker, and I know you're not smokers, but I want to make the point. If you're a smoker, the lungs have tar, and it gets sticky. So when the blood goes through to get cleaned, you don't have clean blood. If you have dirty blood, if you have thick blood, then you need to be on the lookout because that increases the risk of a blood clot. Okay? So it is important to have clean blood. You can get clean blood when you drink water with lemon juice in it. Remember I said months ago, a simple improvement for your liver is to wake up, drink a glass of warm water with the juice of a lemon in it, and wait half hour, and then you can eat and drink something else. That lemon water cleans your blood. That lemon water helps hydrate your digestive system, and it helps the liver, okay? When you eat fruits and vegetables, you can clean your blood. When you drink herbal teas, you can clean your blood. When you do juicing, greens, you are cleaning your blood. Okay? Any other questions?
Yeah. It's a funny thing you brought that up because even as a nurse, back in the 70s, let's say, I could say from 73 to 86 or so, it was just automatic. When the patient came in and we had to hang an IV, most of the time we put the multivitamin in all the bags, you could see them yellow. But it wasn't until just now that they had stopped. So when God says knowledge increases, it does increase, and I think as we move along in life, research shows that not everybody needs. We did it as a precaution, because we didn't know the people we picked up on Skid Row or whatever, what their status was. So we just did it just to make sure they were up, to give them an extra boost. But I noticed they didn't do it anymore, and I've never even given it any thought. But as you're saying, I guess they have done the research to see that, a lot of it gets peed out, and if we just don't know, so why were we doing it in the first place? You know what I'm saying?
Well, we do know. Big Pharma does know. But the problem is this. Think about it. If we had a cure for diabetes, millions of people would not be taking insulin for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. Okay? If we didn't have heart disease, think of all the medications that people are taking for not 6 months, 1 year, but for a lifetime. That's the business. Lipitor is the #1 statin drug. Yeah. That alone brings in $9 billion a year.
Yes.
Okay? I repeat, $9 billion a year. Just one medication. And you don't realize that Lipitor pill that you take will damage your liver, and it's the #1 cause for medications to help induce dementia.
Wow.
And now we have seniors, 1 out of 3 diagnosed with dementia, and now it's not a senior issue. You have people in their 40s and 50s with dementia, frontal lobe dementia. It's a serious problem.
Very serious.
I'm going to share this experience. Someone broke their hand at work, a teacher. And she asked me, what should I take so that my hand heals faster? And I say, take 1,000 milligrams of magnesium, take zinc, do this, 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 this. Okay? When she went to her checkup after 2 weeks, she told the doctor at Kaiser, well, I was told to take 1,000 milligrams of magnesium and do this, 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 this. What do you think? And the doctor said, well, who told you that? Oh, a naturalist, a health practitioner. Well, I'm not supposed to say, but she's correct. But we're not supposed to increase the vitamins. We're not supposed to take a lot of vitamins. Sadly, it makes you think, or at least it made me think, what I said before, If Big Pharma knows that by me taking 10 milligrams of vitamin C instead of 1,000, I'm going to get sicker faster. That's what it comes down to. Big Pharma doesn't want cures. They're not looking for cures. They're looking for medications that will keep you stable, but you're still sick. And the average medication can cost $10 million, 1 to 3 years, but the income return will be $100 to $200 million. So they're going to make their money with new medications and with old medications. Any other question? I think Cecilia wanted to say something. Billy?
I just wanted to know, where do you get natural vitamins from?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
Natural vitamins, where do you purchase them?
Okay, you go to health food stores, and if you want to do online, there is Extension. Oh, what's the name? Life Extension is excellent, okay? Life Extension is one of the best at a reasonable price, because there's other ones that are very pricey, okay? Cecilia. Did I answer your question, sir?
Brother Thomas.
Okay, thank you.
Hi. Thank you for taking my question, and thank you for this topic. My question was likened to the last sister that spoke. What would be your recommendations on vendors? Because, Life Extension, Jaro, Gaia, of course, but I mean, for supplements, nutritional supplements, or vitamins and minerals, what would you suggest is question one. Question two, what then would be the recommendation for getting those vitamins into the bloodstream? Like if I had to give a patient 20,000 milligrams of vitamin C and I do not have access to an IV because I'm not a doctor or a nurse, how then do I perform that task?
Okay, I would start, first of all, with lower numbers and gradually increased. Okay? Now, I mentioned TJ Clark as Kaleido minerals, which are like the trace minerals, okay? And you can order that online. If you don't have a health food store near you, you can order online. And I can recommend, you can go, for example, to Amazon. I don't like Amazon, period. I won't even go start that issue. But I have ordered from it out of necessity, okay? Put in Google natural health vitamins, and you're going to get a list, tremendous list of what you can order besides Life Extension, okay? And so you order one and you try it. And like I said before, if you take a supplement for 10 days and you feel an improvement, that shows you are lacking in that supplement. If after 10 days there's no change, I would increase it. And you have to test and error, okay? Because everyone's different. So I'm going to tell you why I don't like Amazon, because it's not fair that I left you guys hanging. When Amazon bought out Whole Foods, I'm sorry? When Amazon bought out Whole Foods, all the part-time employees lost all their benefits, okay? How much greed do you have that if a business like Whole Foods making tremendous profits, you would cut out all the benefits of the part-time workers? Do you need to have $1 trillion to be happy? 100 million, 100 billion isn't enough? So that was my boycott against Whole Foods and Amazon. Okay, some people, there's no limit to what they want. The greed is tremendous. So anyways, any other question?
For decades, I took Nature's Way, Garden of Eden, vitamins because their ORAC value was like on the bottle said 4,500. That was the highest I could find. They took it off the market, so I went to Alive Vitamins, and now I just found that they put Nature's Way Garden of Eden back on the market in a new formula. But I want to ask about resveratrol.
It's an excellent antioxidant that comes from the grape, okay? So it is excellent. I do want to mention that Big Pharma is trying to get to the point where they control the vitamin and nutritional industry. So, again, the greed is immense, okay? And I think they have ulterior motives for that. Okay, Cecilia in the back, and Billy, do you have a question?
Yes, I want to try to clear up my sarcasm on cocaine. But look,
It's
if I,
okay.
no, hear me out. Now, back in the day when COVID first came out, I was feeding homeless, etc. back then. But the rumor was, and from what I saw, they never got sick. And you know what their antidote was? Baking soda and cocaine. So
Well,
keep that in mind.
Okay.
That's what they were smoking, crack,
I'm
and
going
they
to-
never got sick.
No, listen carefully. Listen carefully. As a Seventh-day Adventist health practitioner, I cannot recommend that, okay? No. There are many options to consider. I'm going to let that go. Let's move on.
For the record, he's kidding. Hold on. Okay. So, yeah, life extension. Brother Jody, I'm hearing you. The other thing that concerns me, though, is the quality of the vitamins. So, like, who is it? Nature's Way and Solo Ray. Yeah, those two are, like, in my experience, are the least you can go.
Well,
'Cause
let
if
me
you-
say this. When you look at a bottle of vitamins, minerals, amino acids, whatever, even with food, you should look at the ingredients. Because if it says vitamin C, and then it has 6 other items, those are called fillers.
Yep.
It's not a quality vitamin, okay? It's not a quality vitamin. And again, if I start with a supplement, and in 10 days, there's no change, then something's wrong, okay? Something's wrong. So always check ingredients. I think it was Nature's Way. I wasn't happy with the ingredients. It had too many fillers. And fillers are not good, okay? Any other question? Okay. Okay, just a moment. I can't hear.
In addition to that, what I'm saying also is when, in my experience, when you're dealing with supplements, it is best if you can make it yourself, do so.
Oh, absolutely.
If you can't, then buy it.
Right. Well, I cannot make my vitamins.
Thank you.
I cannot make my minerals. I cannot make my amino acids. But that's where a good diet comes in, okay? And in reality, the vitamins and the minerals should complement our diet. Because if I make a fresh juice, orange juice, with oranges from my tree, obviously that's going to be more nutritious than if I buy oranges at the store that were picked when they were green and went through an unnatural maturing process. But if I make a juice with 3-4 oranges, I don't know how much vitamin C is in those 4 oranges. So the nutritional supplements is to complement the diet, okay? And sometimes, because of illness, we need extra support because the person cannot eat properly or for whatever reason. I've had people damage their stomach from the chemo and radiation. So if you're going to drink 2 ounces of a juice, that's not enough. We need to put in the nutrition in it. Okay, moving along.
You mentioned that Nature Way, I believe you said, has too many fillers. What is a vitamin that does not have too many fillers?
Well, for example, if you just look at, could you Google, Jody, Google Nature's Way vitamin C, and let's see what the ingredients are. I believe it was Nature's Way. I could be mistaken, okay? If you Google Life Extension, vitamin C, you're going to see vitamin C. And we're going to find out right now what would Nature's Way vitamin C, if it contains anything else besides vitamin C.
It didn't show up. It didn't bring that up. It brought up solar ray. It brought up.
Look up solar ray, vitamin C.
All right, here's a B12.
Okay, B12. Check the ingredients, please.
Other ingredients: xylitol, organic inulin, citric acid from non-GMO tapioca, silica, natural cherry flavor, and other natural flavors, and stearic acid.
Okay. See that for me? No. No. Okay. Okay, question.
She didn't answer.
Okay, please, one at a time.
Did you answer the question, if you can't take Nature's Way, is there one that you could take?
No, I didn't say don't take Nature's Way. I said that when I checked some time ago, because it had the fillers, I personally did not recommend it, okay? Personally, I did not recommend it. I'm encouraging you, if you're going to go buy a vitamin or a mineral, check the ingredients at a health food store, and then if you're happy with all the stuff it contains, you can take it. But when we're talking about fillers, it lessens the quality of the product, okay?
Hold up, I got her right here. I can't get everybody at one time. Be patient.
So do you have a vitamin C that you can recommend the brand?
Okay, I use a vitamin C that, I use several kinds, okay? There's a vitamin C that a colleague has that he brands it, all right? He works with a, what's it called, the laboratory. I use Life Extension, I use Swanson, and sometimes I use VitaCost online, okay? If not, I go to the health food store. If not, I get supplements from my colleague, okay? And like I said, I just recommend check ingredients, because you might find a brand in your health food store near your house, and it could be a very good vitamin that doesn't have so many fillers. Natural flavors are chemicals, okay? When you, next time you want to buy a juice, and you say, oh, it's so nutritious, a juice, and it's full of natural flavors and other stuff, it's not that nutritious. It's probably full of sugar. And nothing against fruit sugar, but it's not the same as if when you make your fresh juice at home, okay? Because you're getting live enzymes, okay? And the enzymes only last half hour, so don't make the juice for the whole day. No. Okay.
Brother Thomas.
Okay. This is pretty much like a follow-up question, but products such as Lipitor, do they affect the effectiveness of your vitamins and minerals? If you're using that drug, will it affect how whether or not your body is going to use the natural
You said
products that you're
Lipitor,
taking?
the statin drug, Lipitor.
Yes. If you use Lipitor or any of those drugs.
No,
those
this
kind
is
of
what's
drugs.
going to happen. Lipitor is not going to interfere with the natural supplements, but Lipitor is going to affect your liver. And it increases the risk of dementia because the brain needs cholesterol. And Lipitor blocks the brain from getting cholesterol, okay? So when I say I don't recommend you to take Lipitor, it's not because it interacts with the vitamins, it's only because of the harm it does to your liver and to your brain. You see? Years ago, 250 was the normal number to have cholesterol. Then it was lowered to 200. Well, what happens if it's lowered to 200? There's more people that need to take statin drugs. Do you know they want to bring it down to 150 now? Okay? If you want to get rid of cholesterol in a natural way, you can take psyllium, which is a fiber, and you buy it as a powder. And what that does, it's going to help the liver, it's going to help the brain, it's going to take out the plaque.
What about omega-3?
The omega-3s are excellent. The nuts take out cholesterol, okay? So first of all, you should question your doctor. Hey, my cholesterol is 190, that's fine. I don't want to take a statin drug. You can and you should be proactive. Ask questions. Anytime a doctor gives you a prescription, you should ask, what are the side effects? And you know what? He might not even know. Because when I was in an office with a medical doctor, I would see the representatives come in and say, here, doctor, here are the new vitamin, these medications, and for high blood pressure. And the doctor would give the box to the patients. And one day I said to the doctor, hey, doctor, what are the side effects? I don't know. And I said to him, well, shouldn't you know for the benefit of your patient? And honestly, he responded, look, I don't care. Because I have to give something to my patients. That was his response. Okay? Honestly. That was his response.
So my question,
Okay.
You were saying take the vitamins for 10 days. So when we purchase the vitamins, we should purchase them in a smaller quantity, don't buy the 60.
Well, let me clarify. When I say take them for 10 days, it's to see how much of a difference you feel.
No, I understand
Okay, obviously, you would continue taking them till you finish.
No, I understand
Okay,
that, but to
okay.
see that something makes a difference for you, instead of purchasing some 60 tablets or 90 tablets or 120 tablets, buy the smaller amount, see if it works.
I believe
and
30
then-
would be the smallest amount.
Well, whatever the smallest is,
Now-
then you could purchase that, see if it works, and then you can continue if it works
Yeah.
for you.
Now, I want to clarify this. I was talking about people, if you wake up tired, if you wake up without energy, if you wake up lethargic, then obviously I would be the first one. If you came to me and said, this is how I feel, I would be the first one to say, you might have a nutritional deficiency, okay? Obviously, if you're in good shape and you're taking and eating good, you obviously are not going to wake up tired and without energy. So you can take the vitamins and you might not feel any difference, okay? And it could happen to someone who's sick also.
Yeah, I was going to respond on something like that, but here's the thing. I think sometimes we take these vitamins as a crutch, thinking that we're doing something, because how do I know I need more vitamin C in my life?
Well, we have an idea of what the body requires because the bottle says 100 milligrams of vitamin C.
Yeah, but
So the question is first, are you taking any vitamin C supplements or not?
and do I need to if I'm eating my oranges and my grapefruits
Well,
and all
that's
these things?
a personal choice.
Yes.
Okay?
So when we choose to take these vitamins, how did it get in your head that you need to go do it? Are you sick, like you said before? Is there something going on that
You are a nurse, correct?
Yes, yes.
And did they teach that in nursing school? I'm curious to know.
Teach what?
What about vitamins? You don't need them? Because I've had many doctors
Yeah,
tell my husband, tell me years ago, for my daughter, well, if you eat good, you don't have to take supplements. My dementia lady, the doctor told the husband, you're wasting your money with supplements. Your money is going down the drain. That's what I'm asking.
Well,
Okay.
yes, they did teach us, but what they taught us was what each vitamin was for, what the toxicity was, and how to combine our food groups to make those things that we eat be more beneficial to our bodies. And the supplements, that's up to your doctor.
Okay, and just out of curiosity, you said toxicity?
Yeah, like vitamin A and
It's
K.
toxic?
Yeah, it become yeah. Your hands can turn, your eyes can turn,
And how do you
pregnant women don't need as much vitamin A. You have to see your physician. So yes, they did point out
Okay.
when you go overboard.
And
this
what
is-
was overboard? Do you remember?
well, like I said, the vitamin A.
But did they give a milligram amount?
Oh yes, they
international
gave it.
unit?
I can't tell you what it is right now,
Okay.
but yes,
I was just curious.
We
Okay.
had pharmacology. We
Okay.
had all of that brought to our attention. So when the doctor orders it, we even know why you're giving this patient this amount, right? We had to kind of be aware
Okay.
that this is too much, and what could depends on your condition,
Okay.
what damage it can do. Why am I giving this patient?
But you don't remember a number.
No, I don't remember the number.
It was a while
Because
back.
I went to administrative paperwork.
Okay.
But I can always look it up.
Okay. No, I was just curious,
it's there.
honestly. I was curious.
But the,
okay.
But the signs that God gives us, you know, when your sclera, your hands turn orange, you know you have crossed over on the.
Well, I will say
back.
this. I will say this. I understand where you're at.
Yes.
Okay. I understand the nursing process in the
Because
medical.
we're not physicians.
in the Western field,
Right.
okay? But I will say this. The Gerson Clinic in Mexico has been around since 1960. It started with Max Gerson, who set up his clinic, and he started treating terminal cancer patients. And he actually went to Congress in the 50s. There was a 5-day hearing where he took brain terminal cancer, lung, bone, liver, and they all testified that after doing chemo or radiation or surgery, they were diagnosed with terminal cancer, and through his treatment, they recovered. And yet, his treatment became illegal in the United States. That's why he had to go to Mexico, south of the border, to open a clinic, where up to now he's had over, well, he was killed, but the facility had over 2,000 terminal cases, testimonials, okay? So what I find amazing, I say this respectfully, is how in the medical field, in Western medicine, okay, we can criticize vitamin A, 100, 500 milligrams, perhaps being so much. We can criticize vitamin D, even though statistics have shown 95% of the population is deficient in vitamin D.
Yes, we were taught
And
that.
yet, be careful with toxicity of vitamins and minerals, but no one is questioning how much chemotherapy is killing the body, how much radiation is killing the body. 500,000 people are dying a year, and that's not a danger. That's not a danger, okay?
It is a danger.
Well,
But
in
that's
general, no one is questioning that, okay?
Well, we're not questioning it because I think we're so desperate to.
Well, there are options, let me tell you.
Yeah,
But
the-
again, Big Pharma is in control, okay? Because it's not a coincidence, let me tell you. I'm the first one to say, I am a drop in the ocean as a health practitioner, okay? I am a drop in the ocean. And yet, all the herbs that I use for cancer, I can't get them in California anymore. That's not a coincidence. I say Big Pharma knows what's going in the alternative field, okay? And slowly but surely, the supplements I order, I can no longer order them in California, okay? That's a tragedy. That is a tragedy, okay? but it's a billion-dollar business, and we have to accept what's going on. Okay, next question.
Okay, for example, for the cancer herb, can you name one? For example.
Oh, a cancer herb.
Yeah,
Red
that you
clover.
can no longer get.
Red clover.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I got a bag of that at home. Oh, shoot.
Well, it depends where you order them from. Okay.
Herbs of Mexico?
Um,
I'm for
There-
real. Herbs of
there
Mexico
is-
and chaparral as well.
chaparral
Palo
became
d'Arco,
illegal.
yellow
Chaparral.
dog, Jamaican dogwood. Okay.
I'm going to tell you what happened, and I'm going to finish with this because you guys, I know, you have things to do. This happened 20 years ago. Pardon? You have time. Okay. This is true. This is true. Okay? Actually, it was 30 years ago, even before I started studying natural medicine. See, I'm going to tell you, my paternal grandmother in Mexico, we're talking 100 years ago, okay? 100 years, no, sorry. 75 years ago. Would go in the field and get a tea and give it to a woman who could not conceive,
Yep.
okay? My mother gave it to a lady at church. She got pregnant. My mother gave it to the neighbor, married 10 years. UCLA told her, we cannot help you. She got pregnant. So I grew up with the basics of eucalyptus tea for coughs and throats and basic. But I grew up believing natural medicine works better than prescription medication. Okay? I grew up that way. So even before I was studying, I would read books, and there's a tea called comfrey tea. Okay? And I gave it to a lady who had a cough. She had started like an itchy cough for 2 months, and I said to her, I'm going to give you the tea, and in a week it cleared up. I'm not kidding you. 3 months later, in the Inquirer, the article said, comfrey tea taken off the market because it has killed 8 people. And she told me, look, what you gave me. I said, don't believe that. It's not true.
It's a lie.
I called Washington, D.C., FDA, where they document everything, foods. And I said, I would like your information on the comfrey tea. And they told me, we have nothing because we don't believe it has any value.
Leave it like that.
Okay? So, that article was obviously false by saying that the FDA had done a study on it. And they accused comfrey tea of being harmful to the liver. Comfrey tea is the best tea for broken bones, osteoporosis. So do you understand what I'm saying? Okay, that's the reality of life in this country, especially California.
Another
Okay.
question. Sister Donors, let me come to you. They want to hear you online, dear. Sister Donors, they want to hear online. We got YouTube.
Okay, I mentioned this before. I don't know if anyone would remember, but my baby, when he was just a few months old, he got asthma, and I was always in the emergency room with him. And this nurse, this Filipino nurse, she gave me a little plant of comfrey, and she told me, take care of it and give it to him as water. And I gave it to him. My son is 47 years old, and he hasn't had an asthmatic attack to this day. It grows in my yard big. So if anybody wants comfrey, you just see me, I'll give you the leaves.
I gave it to a child who was 6 years old. When he came from Mexico, he had the bag like this of medications. And after he drank that tea, for 2 months, all his medications were unnecessary. Okay?
I have a testimony too, because my son been through the military and he had the worst lung problem, that little baby, and I gave that thing to him. he had to Comfrey, and he was healed. By the time he went to join the military, he didn't have no lung problem.
It's excellent for the lungs.
Right, and it's not only that, because my grandmother told me it could be used as medicine that I mix with the olive oil for wounds and
Yes,
stuff that
yes.
heals. And that's how I'm babying my plants. I'm transplanting so to make sure that my daughter have her own comfrey.
But since the 1980s, comfrey tea became illegal to use.
Tea bags anymore.
Okay?
You can't get that.
So why would they take off a tea from the market, is the question.
Hold that.
Okay.
Brother Thomas.
I have. Now, you were talking about red clover. California has a restriction on getting red clover. If you order red clover, they will sell you the red clover blossom, but the real red clover natural, it's California has a restriction against bringing it into California.
Why?
I don't know.
Well, I'm telling you, those are part of the herbs that we use for cancer, and it's not a coincidence that it's taken off the market. Okay? All right, next question.
Next question.
Are we
I have
finished?
one.
Okay.
This
Billy?
isn't a normal question, guys. Statement, really. A question. What's the story on emergency C powder?
I'm
Is
sorry,
that good
one
for
more
you?
time.
Emergency C. C powder you buy in the.
Oh, it's a combination of vitamin C and other minerals to boost your immune system.
The first ingredient listed is sugar. The second ingredient listed is sucrose.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, sure healed me. No.
Billy, did you take it
I did.
and you felt improvement?
I feel good.
You know why? Because your body was lacking vitamin C. And that's a perfect example that despite having sugar and other fillers, it still helped you.
Yes.
Okay? But again, it would be best if you check the ingredients and instead of getting something, look, the gummies. If you take gummies, it's the worst thing you can take. You look at the bottle of gummies, and if it has vitamin C, it's
did.
3,000 milligrams
baking
sugar and
Back
100
to the baking
milligrams vitamin C. Okay? Doesn't make sense to me.
We need you. I'm sorry.
The vitamin C, it loses its potency. To have it sitting around, it has to have something to maintain its potency until, you know, we have the expiration date, the shelf life, whatever. But sometimes
Put it to your mouth.
we don't even think about that vitamin C is one of those. I mean, your body doesn't store it. I mean, they're storing it in a pill for you. Am I really getting it?
That's what I asked at first.
Well, all I can tell you is I have results
Buyer
with
beware.
vitamin C. I have had results with vitamin C. Okay?
Now, my reason for taking that emergency C, first of all, Jethro Kloss, now he revised, back in the book Back to Eden, he revised the baking soda, the sodium bicarbonate, non-aluminum versus the aluminum. Now, from my understanding, since then and now, baking soda is like a miracle worker because of the alkaline content. So that was one of my reasons for taking that emergency C.
I will say this.
Yes.
For some people, baking soda raises their
High blood pressure.
high blood pressure.
Yes.
So you have to be careful.
Right.
Okay?
But it's known for
someone-
miracles.
Well,
Do you?
it's a matter of taking precautions. If you have hypertension, you really should take your blood pressure once a week at home, because you don't know at what point it starts to elevate and you don't realize it, and the end result could be a stroke, or you go into kidney failure. So even with medications, you should try to do whatever testing you can. All right.
Keisha got a question. Coming. Oh, you got your own mic? Okay. Yes, ma'am.
You'd said earlier about breakfast being something that you want to take. Anyway, I was always under the understanding that breakfast is just the first meal you eat to break your fast. Is there a cutoff to when you should be doing that?
Well, that's a matter of opinion. I don't think we can come to a full conclusion at what point is a cutoff. It is recommended if you had a dinner at 5 o'clock, because you shouldn't eat late, even though some people do eat 7, 8 o'clock at night. But even if you ate at 6 o'clock and you woke up at 6 o'clock the next day, that's 12 hours, okay? So the point is, you should have a nutritious breakfast to give you energy because you're going to be working all day. There are many people who skip breakfast or they drink a cup of coffee. What nutritional value is there in coffee? Okay.
So what about intermittent fasting? Because some of that...
Intermittent fasting is about, am I correct to say 12 hours?
I think I've seen it...
Minimum 12 hours.
16.
12 to 16 hours? Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, again, it's a personal choice if you want to do the fasting and you have to fit it in your schedule. But overall, it is recommended. Imagine if you wake up in the morning and you ate at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock yesterday. If you wake up in the morning, doesn't your body need food?
No, she's saying if you ate earlier. Okay. The reason why I ask is I tend to not be hungry in the morning. And so I'll drink my lemon water, which is interesting because once I drink my lemon water, I even more don't feel like I want to eat.
No, that's correct. Many people wait at least an hour after they drink lemon water. But then do you eat late in the evening?
Usually around noon.
Okay. You know, you can train your body to anything, okay? Keep that in mind. I'm going to share with you. I was a child at the Spanish church, and a young man came. He was skinny, like a toothpick, okay? He would go study in Guadalajara, Mexico. He was in the School of Medicine. And so he would come in the summertime to work to save money for school. That man trained himself not to eat for 3 days. He would drink water. But when he ate, he could eat for 10 meals, okay? And my father took him when Taco Bell opened, and there was a competition, who's going to eat the most tacos and burritos and tostadas. And my dad took him, a skinny man. And he was among men, 200-300 pounds. And he ate more than all those other people. And there was a restaurant called the Red Balloon in Van Nuys, Sherman Oaks, where you had chicken, mashed potatoes, corn, and bread, all you can eat. And my dad would take him because he had compassion for him. And he would eat, they brought like 12 pieces of chicken on the plate, and we all ate 1 or 2 pieces of chicken, and then he would eat, and then he would ask for more, and the waitress would come bring another tray, 12 pieces of chicken and corn and mashed potatoes, and he would finish a second round. And after the third round, the manager would come and say, "We think you've had enough." Okay? And House of Pancakes. My dad took him to House of Pancakes. They were going to competition. Who could eat the most? He could eat 3 dozen pancakes.
Yeah, he had a hole in his stomach.
And he was skinny, like a toothpick. So he had trained himself to drink water for 3 days. On Saturdays, my dad would tell people at church, "Why don't you invite him to eat? He's a student." And I remember this lady, a mile from the house, she called up my dad. "He's eating all my food." He's eating all my food. But the reality is, it's amazing what the human body can be trained to do. okay? It really is.
Yeah, and the thing of it is that our bodies require X amount of calories per day.
Correct.
And the assumption that, well, I could skip breakfast, but if I have these 2,500 calories that I have to get in order to keep me functioning on a reasonable good level, then it's to be spaced out. So like that young man, I'm not going to eat all these pancakes and whatever in one sit-in, thinking,
Well,
but
it
that's
was-
a choice that we make. But we have to know that our body requires certain
Correct.
things and certain amount of energy to function, like gas in your car.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's why it's recommended 2 to 3 meals spread out
Right.
properly.
I
Okay.
have another normal question. Now, if our stomach is just the size of a fist, when
It
is
can stretch.
when is gluttony? When is it considered gluttony?
Well, I think when you're 300 pounds or you overeat. I mean, that's a personal perception, okay?
I'm asking. I mean,
No,
because
I'm answering you. I can talk for myself that when I go, I don't like buffets because when I go, I eat more than I should.
right.
I say, oh, I want to get my money's worth. Okay, 1 plate of salads, 1 plate of desserts, 1 plate of food. We know, if we're honest with ourselves, we know when we overdo it.
Okay. Everybody know. Okay. Excuse me, sister.
Last week, a young lady said to me that she couldn't climb her stairs. She became so short of breath. She went to see the doctor, and they discovered she had some fluid in her lungs. So I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, maybe I should tell her to drink some comfrey. It wouldn't hurt the lungs.
The comfrey tea.
Yeah, comfrey tea.
It would help her, the tea.
Well,
Definitely.
Well, thanks for supporting that. I'll tell her that.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Again? Yeah. Comfrey good for a lot of stuff we finding out.
Okay,
Praise
any
God.
other question? We're going to wrap it up.
Any other questions?
Okay, I want to thank you very much for your participation.
Oh, one more.
Okay, last question.
What are some nutrients that are good for sleeping?
What are what?
Opposite of is good for energy.
You have insomnia?
Repeat that?
Do you have insomnia?
If
You
the-
have trouble sleeping.
I have, yes, sometimes.
Okay, insomnia is having trouble to sleep.
Yes.
Okay, so I would ask you, are you doing any exercise a day? Any walking?
Yes.
Yes? I mean, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, half hour? Because insomnia, the number one cause of it is actually stress, okay? Second, lack of exercise. Third, very high stimulating diet, okay? Those are the 3 major causes for insomnia.
So I got the first one.
So the first one was stress. Do you
The
have stress?
second one was lack of exercise. What was the third one?
The diet, overstimulating. Hey, people who drink coffee all day. I knew someone who drank 10 cups of coffee a day, and he said, I just need 3 hours of sleep.
I haven't drank
And I
coffee
said,
in years.
that's not how the body works, okay? You can take any kind of stimulant and get 3 hours of sleep, but eventually the brain wears out. The brain needs rest, okay?
The opposite of that, what's some good energy foods to keep you hyper?
Energy?
Yeah.
Well, you have the fruits and
Besides sugar.
vegetables. Okay, the vitamin C boosts your immune system. When your immune system is boosted, you should have more energy if you're eating properly. You know, it's not like a one pill fix all thing. You have to look at your overall health. Again, your lifestyle. What does lifestyle contain? Diet, rest, and exercise, okay? If you put that in a proper numbers, you should be fine, okay? I'm going to ask our brother elder to have our closing prayer, please. Thank you again.
Thank you so much. Oh, we should be the most healthy people here, shouldn't we? We have all kinds of resources, and today was rich. And the one that got me was this, the common thing, comfrey. You know, I have to remind myself of it because my sister always tells me about comfrey tea and its magic. And so the next time I feel like I'm short breath, I'll be sure to have some comfrey tea. So let us stand for prayer. Brother Billy, let us stand for prayer, unless you want to kneel. Okay. Our Heavenly Father, we're so thankful for all the natural remedies that you've given to us. For Sister Ali, who willingly imparts her knowledge. And we pray, Lord, that all of these blessings will be used to further your cause, the gospel, that people will know the good news of salvation through Jesus Christ.